Hello all and welcome back to the channel. And Today I was just going over my journal and trying to actually consolidate some of the dreams that I've had in words over to my new journal, just so they were kind of in one place, because I tend to be a little scattered and just write things down on what I have when I have it. And so I was just trying to organize some of this stuff, and the Lord actually showed me that I had a couple dreams that He wanted to use, and I thought it was pretty interesting because these were dreams that I was given far before when the Lord revealed to me that He was giving me this as a gifting to receive dreams and words from Him. And so the first, actually, there were four altogether, I guess, because this first one was on the 1st of February 2020, and it was three dreams that I received all in the same night, and just also thought that the timing of them was interesting. That the first one I labeled the coming storm, seemed to have more of a spiritual connotation, but we all know that there was also physical connotation around that time for that. So that happened. Also, the second dream was of a wedding banquet, and then the third dream was of a testimony on a trail. And so I'll start with the dreams, and then today He also gave me a word on the dreams, and so kind of it was kind of cool to get further revelation on His thoughts on that. And just to see how he uses stuff that we may not even recognize in the moment that it was God necessarily, but it was meaningful enough that I wrote it in my journal at the time, not even knowing that it was for anybody else. But just cool that that kind of came back around. So here's the dreams. The first dream was about a severe forecasted storm. A meteorologist gave warning of a major storm and flooding. I knew about it and was surprised by how many people did not know. They would not listen to my warning. I tried to tell people that they needed to at least reinforce their houses and others to evacuate. The storm hit and the flood took those houses. God revealed that, this is after waking up, pertaining to this dream, God revealed that the people are friends and Christians who are not in God's word to know the truth and who are unfruitful. God and close relationship with Him are the reinforcement needed. Satan and his emissaries are the spiritual side of this storm. The flood are his lies. This is what to expect before and during the tribulation of Satan. And I just thought that, so this is me and my thoughts. I thought that was interesting that He said before and during the tribulation. As we read in Matthew 24, it talks about the beginning of sorrows, and we all know the pestilence that came then, and some of the other fiery trials that many walk through in other nations, Christians in China and other areas of the world where there's strong persecution and wars in Ukraine and spreading all over. and what's happened in Israel. And so just really interesting what has happened in Israel and what's happening all over now. And so that was interesting. The second dream was a great wedding banquet. It was beautiful, with a massive log cabin on a mountain next to a beautiful lake. There were rows of tables full of vibrant foods. The celebration took place inside of the cabin, then outside. Everyone there was radiant with joy and well dressed for the banquet. Then I was removed and taken outside of this area. Then I saw a tall wall with a guarded large door. On the outside of this wall was buildings and people. Some of the people I knew as non-believers, and they acted restless, nervous, angry, and sad. They were not invited. God revealed after I woke up, this is a symbol of the great wedding banquet of the Lamb. Those within are the worthy virgins who had belief and plenty of oil for their lamps. The people on the outside were without belief or oil or wick for their lamps. They are unworthy for the banquet and unworthy of me. And I thought that was self-explanatory and convicting then, at that time even. The third dream was about living in a rural area or the wilderness, and that type of setting, and sharing my testimony of Jesus along a road. So it started as I was walking up a trail or an overgrown gravel road. I saw on the left side of the road that a group of people were having a party or a celebration of some kind. I was invited by a few friends in the small front lawn as I was on the road. I told them that I don't live to party anymore, and that I have all of the peace and joy and hope that I could ever need in Jesus. As I shared my testimony, all of the people at this house gathered and eventually all heard my testimony of Jesus in my life. I told them that Jesus wants to heal them, to forgive them, and give them the peace and joy, and to have a relationship and a salvation with a faithful and true and loving God forever. I started giving the Lord praise out loud for his faithfulness and his love, and I was emboldened and moved to sing in worship. As I sang, I noticed they all bowed to the ground. After this, I saw one old man standing and crying. I asked him if he would like to ask Jesus into his heart and life. He said, "I don't know," and cried harder. I gave him a hug, then sat with him. I started talking with him, and then I woke from my dreams. Then God revealed about this dream. The road symbolizes life's path from now until I come back. A time, a place, a season. Along the road in this time are many, and he emphasized many people who are content with worldly ways and are in party mode. They don't know me, and many care more about pleasure than for me. People are hungry for truth and want it. Many will have the hardest time turning from the ways of the world during this time because of convenience, pleasure, and belief in the lies and systems. Some will, reluctantly at first, but when I work through you, will turn to me. This is why sharing your testimony of my salvation and truth is so important. And that was the end of what he gave me back on February 1st, 2020. And then fast forward to this morning, 5 years and 13 days later, he gave me a word this morning. As I was writing this down, he revealed to me that he would that he had something to say about this, and so I prayed about it, and this is what he had. And he said, "Now, my beloved, many of you are sealed now and have come close. You are anchored in my word and in communion and worship constantly. You have left the pleasures of the world behind and made me your Lord over your life. For those who are sealed and who will not be led astray by the false system, teachings, or lies of the coming and growing flood, you are to encourage those who know of me but who are weak in faith. Share your testimonies of what I have done for others and for you with them. And yes, I say challenge them in complacency, and in loving humility judge them for the evil and carnal that they have accepted. For I need my warriors to arise now. As I stir the hearts of my wandering and lost sheep, many will hear my voice through you, my beloved. If you aren't bold to testify and rightly judge your close friends who wander, then it will be easy to quench my spirit when I call on you to share a testimony of me to strangers and judges. So strengthen your relationship in me now, and I will use you to be my strong and humble warriors of light. The workers are few, but the harvest is great. And I ask you, will you be devoted to me and passionate to share me and all truth? I will bring those who are worthy of me to my mountain and celebrate you before your enemies. I prepare the best for you, and I am your inheritance. There are many on the outside who weep and groan. My beloved, I ask you to partner with me to point them away from destruction and back to me. Your faithfulness in this will bring a revival as I pour out my spirit, and hearts are even prepared now. Many now, and he was showing me kind of a different time of what it will be because we prepare with him. So he wanted me to kind of emphasize that. Many now share at my table through your obedience, and boldly and with all power, allowing my Holy Spirit to bring all evidence of my power and love. Though things get very difficult, keep your eyes fixed on me and my coming kingdom. I judge and I reward, and I come to separate the sheep from the goats very soon. Your true King, your true Rock of the ages, your good shepherd and your loving groom. And with all love of the Abba Father, come back to my voice, my wandering sheep. Hear my voice again. Cry out to me, and I will bring your heart close again. I love you so much. Shalom. And then XOXO, hugs and kisses. Just very sweet tone. And this was very convicting to me. There's been many times where I didn't speak up, or that I, whether it was somebody in the church that I knew was in sin, or it brought up my own sin and conviction, just thinking about carnal living and just not being close to the Lord. Um, and so I found this very convicting also, just to be courageous to go and encourage more. And iron really does sharpen iron. And so when we share our testimony with others, it's encouraging to Christians who hear it. And so uh, the Lord wants us to do this more. And so for this video, I will leave the comments on. And if you have a testimony, please share it so others can see it and be encouraged. And I feel like we really need to, myself included, share our testimony more and more, starting with our Christian friends and those who are in our fellowship, and reciprocate that and just kind of bring up the goodness of the Lord. So we're reminded of how faithful and true He has been and He is, to build each other up and strengthen each other up. And so I just encourage that you would take this to the Lord. He told me that there's parts of things in these dreams that are that He wants to reveal to different people individually, that there's more here, there's more meat. And He's revealed that there's more meat in all of His prophecy and all of His word, that there's so much more for us to chew on, and that He wants to reveal to us, and just to spend time with Him. And as we seek Him first, He really will provide what we need in guidance and healing and whatever we need in that season. So just want to encourage yourself, and I'm convicted as well and encouraged to just go deeper in relationship and in community with our friends. We're to build each other up and point each other to the Lord. So that's what we need to do. So love you. Hope you're all well. Take care. Bye.